Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. People are conditioned to think that spiritual growth, real deep spiritual growth, takes a very long time and is very difficult. That's both true and not true. The main problem that people have, and very few break through it, is they do spiritual techniques, self-help techniques, in order to get something. They're trying to achieve something. They're trying to get something. Enlightenment, happiness, well-being, respect, power, I don't care. When the truth of the matter is, all spiritual techniques, real ones, are about losing something, not getting something. And that's the part that very few ever come to realize, and those few are the ones that reach very deep. There's nothing to get. It's sort of like if you're eating food that's making you sick, and you're trying to figure out, how do I eat it and be well? You're going in the wrong direction. The only thing you can really do to be well is to stop eating it. And if you stop eating what's making you sick, miraculously you won't be sick. So the question is, if you're eating something that's making you sick, or doing something that's making you ill, and you're trying to find something that will make you well while you're doing that, that's very hard. And it takes a very, very long time. If, however, you wake up and you realize, I don't need to find something that will make me well, I need to stop doing what will make me sick, it doesn't take long at all. But very few are willing to do that. We're always looking for something. We always think there's something to get. What you realize when you go deeply is that everything you're looking for is inside yourself. And that's not some platitude. Literally. If you're looking for joy, it's inside. If you're looking for love, it's inside. If you're looking for meaning to your life, it's inside. If you're looking for inspiration, it's inside. If you're looking for enthusiasm, it's inside. These are all inner qualities. You don't feel them, not because you don't have them, but because you have blocked them, which is equivalent to eating food that makes you sick. You don't feel healthy, not because you're not healthy, or not because you're not doing something to make yourself healthy. You're not healthy because you're making yourself sick by eating what you're eating. If you have blockages inside yourself, they block your love, they block your inspiration, they block your happiness, they block feeling deep, connected meaning to life. They block you. That's why we call them blockages. If you have those blockages inside, then you don't feel well. Why? Because you have blocked the part of you that makes you feel well. Just the same as when you eat food that makes you sick, it doesn't mean you're sick. Intrinsically, you're healthy. But by eating food that makes you sick, your healthiness is pushed to the background and your sickness is brought to the foreground. It's the exact same thing with these blockages. If you don't have blockages, I can't even talk about it, nor could you. You would be too blissed out. You would be too ecstatic. That is what Buddha achieved and called nirvana, a state of no blockages. That is what Christ meant when he said you must die to be reborn. Die of the part of you that is made of these blockages in order to awaken and experience the ecstasy that's inside of you, the joy that's inside of you, the well-being that's inside of you. So that's the starting point of a spiritual discussion. Not God, not enlightenment, not attracting to yourself what you want or any of this sort of thing. It is about understanding that there is a state within your being, which is your natural state, which is so high you'd have to learn how to handle it. It's that simple. The blockages are holding you down. Do not spend the rest of your life, as you have spent it so far, trying to find things from outside that you can bring in that compensate for your blockages. If you don't feel love, it is not because you haven't found someone to love. It is not because you're not worthy of love. It is not because you're not capable of love. It is because you have blocked the love. If you block a dam, you dam up a river, it doesn't flow downstream. That's not because there's something wrong with the river. And not because there's something wrong with downstream. It's because you dam the water up. If you block your energy flow inside, you will not feel love. You will not feel joy. You will not feel light and happiness and enthusiasm and so on. Why? Because you block those flows, just like you block the flow of water. So the answer is not to do something even though it's blocked, so that periodically you can sneak a little water behind the dam. You have to go there and struggle and get a bucket and bring it down and throw it down there. I'm doing good, right? And you're managed because you're strong and you worked out and you got a big bucket. You're better than the guy next door. You're able to run around the dam, fill up your bucket, run down and pour it downstream. You get a little water. Aren't you proud of yourself? No. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you want water, remove the dam. So basically, this foundation of understanding is what people don't have about spirituality. There is nothing to get. There's nothing to do. It's all about undoing and losing the blockages. So basically, there are times in which you prove what I'm teaching. You have felt love inside. You have felt joy inside. You have felt enthusiasm and passion for things inside. You don't feel it all the time. In fact, you feel it very rarely. Why? Things have to be a certain way in order for you to feel love, don't they? The person has to be dressed right, and they have to be talking to you right, has to be the right location, and everything has to be just right, doesn't it, for you to feel love. If anything goes wrong about that stuff, even in the most perfect situation with the perfect person, if they just say one thing wrong, like if they call you George and your name is Frank, kind of loses the moment. I mean, it's just one word. All of a sudden, the love is gone. Same thing with enthusiasm. If you're all excited about your job and you can't wait to get back to work on what you're working on, and then somebody criticizes you, somebody complains about what you did, or somebody takes your parking space that was put aside for you as employee of the month, all of a sudden you're not so enthused anymore. Anything that doesn't match what you want makes you not feel joy, not feel love, not feel enthusiasm. Now, if you're silly, which we all are, all of us, you will think that when something happens the way you want, and you feel joy and enthusiasm, and when things don't happen the way you want, and you don't feel joy and enthusiasm, you think that's proving the philosophy that the only way you can feel joy and enthusiasm and love is to get what you want. That is what's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say to yourself, I will be happy if she loves me, that's one person out of, well, let's see, there's 7 billion people on the earth, and half of them are women, so there's 3.5 billion, or men, whichever way you want to look at it. So now there's one person that can make you happy, and 3.5 billion can't. You did that. If you had said, I think she'll make me happy, then that would make you happy. It's whatever you set up in your mind, in your inner state, if it happens outside, and it matches what you said, there's a neutralization that takes place. All of a sudden, the blockages that you built inside yourself, how do I say it so funny? The very act of saying, if she loves me, I'll be happy, is a blockage. That's a blockage. If I get that job, I'll be so enthused. That's a blockage. What you did was block your ability to be enthused about every other job. You blocked your ability to be enthused about every relationship. You limited it to what it is within your mind that you decided might make you happy. If you decide that you need something to make you happy, you're not happy. You can't feel happiness because you decided, I can't. You decided things have to be a certain way for me to be happy. And we're going to talk about how you built those blockages in a minute, because it's very important to understand how they got built, to understand how to get rid of them. But I want you to understand that the things that you now say will make you happy, and then claim you're right because they do, that is the biggest trap that could ever exist. It is because you are limiting yourself to those things, and then when they happen, they neutralize that limitation. Even if you think about them happening, you get excited, don't you? You get enthused, or you feel love. If you think about something that you want to happen, that's because you are neutralizing the blockage. That blockage, if you sit there and think, no one could love me, no, I can't, no, I'm not the kind of person they can love, I never find true love. Okay, good, that's a nice blockage. That's like eating bad food. That's what we talked about to start with. You're now eating bad stuff inside yourself. Then you wonder why you don't feel well. If then something happens outside of you where someone manages to neutralize that blockage that you're doing, to continue my analogy, if all of a sudden somebody comes up and grabs the food out of your mouth that's going to make you sick, you sit there and say, he healed me. He's a psychic healer. Oh my God, I was so sick before I met him. OMG. That is what you're doing with everything. You are sitting there making yourself sick with these blockages, but saying if everything will go that matches the blockages the way I want, then I'll be okay. And then when something happens that seems to match the blockage, seems to match what you want, you open. You stop saying, no one can love me. It seems like maybe he can. I believed him. The way he said it was so sincere, it made me cry. I felt such love. The love is inside of you. It was always inside of you. It will never not be inside of you. It has nothing to do with him. And I mean nothing to do with him. It has to do with the fact that you blocked the flow of the love, and then somehow he or she behaved in a way that matched. You're allowing the blockages to neutralize your blockage. That's really what it is, neutralize your blockage. Blow in my ear, I'll follow you anywhere. Criticize me, I'm out of here. It's because you have these blockages inside. When something allows the energy to go past the blockage, when there's a leak in the dam, and that happens because things can neutralize your blockages temporarily. People who feel terrible, they had a terrible traumatic experience, and they can't get over it, they go on the web and they blog about it with other people that had similar experiences. I'm not knocking it, just pay attention. Does it work? Of course it does. Of course it does. Is it healthy? No. It reinforces the blockage. But does it feel better temporarily? Yes. Why? Because you have suppressed this blockage. You have suppressed that situation. Therefore, it's blocking your whole energy flow. Now you are letting some of it come back up by talking, blogging, doing different things. And when the blockage releases some, the energy comes up from behind it. And literally, people get addicted to blogging. They get addicted to sitting there saying, the only way I can feel okay is when I'm on this blog talking to these people because they understand me. And I can't tell them they're wrong. They're right. That is the only way you can feel okay, given the situation you've created. Given the blockages you have, given the way you're dealing with yourself, that's like sitting there saying, I'm in love with this person, and they left me. I'll never feel love again. I don't even want to. Never could my heart open again. This person holds the key to my... Those are not romantic things to say. Those are terrible things to say. There's no key to your heart except you put it there. You put a gate on your heart and said the only one who can open it is her or him. What happens if they leave you? What happens if they die? What happens if they get in a bad mood? Well, I guess my heart's closed. You don't understand. You did that. There's no gate on your heart. There's no key to your heart. The love is natural inside of you. It is spontaneous. It is always there. Just like the flow of the water before it was dammed is always there. It took care of itself. But if you dam it, now you need to do things to get water. So you have blocked, and I'm stressing, and I'll talk about them, this thing about these blockages. Spirituality is about your blockages. It's not about God. It's not about relationships. It's not about money. It's not about doing good works. Nope. Those things will happen naturally once you're unblocked. We'll get there. But if you're doing something, even though you're blocked, to try and make it look spiritual, trying to be spiritual, that's as far as you're going. You'll feel that I'm spiritual because other people said I am. Oh my God, you helped everybody. You're so beautiful. And look at how everyone rejects this other person and you're so kind to them. Oh, that's really beautiful. And it feels good until they stop saying it, or until they say it to somebody else the exact same thing and it doesn't feel so special, or until the person who you helped got in a bad mood and started telling everybody that you were taking advantage of them and you're terrible. You're living a losing life. That's a losing life. The only way to actually be spiritual is to remove the blockages that are blocking the flow of your spirit. Not about getting things that neutralize them, because that will never last. First of all, let's just admit we're playing that game, right? I'm not okay. What do I need in order to be okay? I'm not okay. What do I need to make sure it doesn't happen so I get worse? That's my bottom line of how we are all living our lives. I'm not okay. What do I need to make happen or do so that I can be okay? I'm not okay. What do I have to make sure doesn't happen so I don't get worse? And that's why there's tension, that's why there's anxiety, and that's why life seems, it's tough, right? Life is heavy because you're busy doing that. And the only time you ever feel joy and love and enthusiasm is when it works, is when you get what it is you said you wanted, or you feel relief if you don't have to go through what you didn't want. That duality of getting and losing and protecting and all that, it's a losing game. If you spend all your effort to try and get one moment to be the way you want it, there are lots of other moments that are going to happen. What are you going to do? You can't control every moment. It doesn't work. It's not going to happen. Life is going to unfold, and if you struggle with it to try to make it neutralize or placate your blockages, you got a job that's 24/7, you have trouble sleeping, and your anxiety, and you got to worry about it. First of all, it's difficult for people to decide what it is that they want to happen so that they'll be okay. Do I want to get married? Should I marry him? Should I marry her? Should I take a vacation for her? That's what people say to me a lot of times. I have trouble making decisions. Of course you do. Of course you do. Because the decision you're trying to make is what will make me happy. You're not trying to decide, should I move to New York? Should I get married now? You're trying to decide what will make me happy. When the truth of the matter is, how do you know? You haven't been happy enough to know. And if you have been, if you say, no, I was 7 years ago, oh my God, that you remember what happened to me, then what you're going to try and do is recreate the same situation that you had before. Because it's the only thing you know about happiness. How does the person who lived downstream and never saw the river flow by itself, the stream flow by itself before it was blocked, how does that person know how to get water? They don't even know what's going on. All they know is about the bucket, running around getting a bucket and pouring it back in. Versus if you remove the blockage, there's a natural flow of water. We are so far away from ourselves, from truth, that the best we can do is to try to make up in our minds what we think will make us happy, and we have a lot of trouble doing that. Then we have to decide how to try to make it happen, because we're not stupid, it's not going to happen by itself. And all of a sudden we're anxious trying to figure out what we want or what we don't want. We're anxious trying to make it happen, and then we get upset when it doesn't. We get jealous when somebody else gets it. What I just described to you is a human being, isn't it? That's how they live their lives. You don't have to live like that. There's a complete other way of living your life. And it is not difficult, and it doesn't take time, like I said. What it takes is understanding, I have blocked my energy flow. I need to remove these blockages. And I'm telling you, it's that simple. You don't need to know anything else. I have blocked this energy flow, and I need to remove these blockages. And then you have to know that that's the truth, that that's how you find happiness, joy, and love. If you remove the blockages, you don't need to do anything else. If I take the dam down, I never have to run around again and bring the buckets, do I? Ever. Never. The river just flows all by itself. It's natural. If you remove your blockages inside, I am telling you, there is a river of joy inside. You will feel tremendous upliftment. Everything you feel when somebody finally convinces you they love you, and you feel that sudden first kiss, take the most highest moment. Take the most highest moment, multiply it times 1,000 or 1,000,000, your choice, and have it constantly getting more and totally refreshing. In other words, every single kiss is the first kiss. That's how much Shakti, energy, power, all the time, that's what's going on inside of you. That is your natural state. So instead of going out there and putting something on top of the blockages so that temporarily you feel okay and have to work for that, you just devote your life, and I mean your whole life, to removing these blockages. Let's talk about that. Just as hard as everybody else tries to get what they want and avoid what they don't want, they work pretty hard at it, don't they? Now repeat that. Just as hard as everybody else tries to get what they want and avoid what they don't want, that's how hard you work to get rid of your blockages. Because everybody else, every moment of their life, is trying to get what they want and avoid what they don't want. There's never a time you're not doing that. You're always trying to get what you want and avoid what you don't want. Instead, you're always trying to remove these blockages. I'm telling you, that's what it takes. It takes for you to decide. There's nothing wrong with trying to get what you want and avoid what you don't want. It just doesn't work. It's what we call conditional. You'll only be okay if you get what you want. How often does that happen? And then you get used to it. How long does it last, the joy of getting what you want? It's embarrassing to talk about this. It's natural. It's real. There's nothing wrong with you. I studied graduate school economics way back when. They taught us a law of diminishing returns. That's a law that they teach you in economics, the law of diminishing returns. What does that mean? It means that every single human being under all conditions will get used to what it is that they're experiencing. If I give you your favorite meal, oh my God, from the best chef that ever was, and you bliss out on eating it, and I give it to you again the next day. Wow! How about the third, fourth, fifth, breakfast, lunch, dinner? How long before you go, ew, give me collards or Brussels sprouts or something, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? At some point, you don't want it anymore, do you? Even the second time is not as nice as the first. And the third is not even close. That is called the law of diminishing returns. How many people that if you walked up to them and said, what do you want to make you happy? If you make a list on there, what do you want to make you happy? Write down what they already have. Oh, I want the car I have. Nobody. Right. Because if the car they have would make them happy, they'd be happy. So basically, they write down things they haven't experienced yet. I want to live in Hawaii, and I want my kids to get A's. And in other words, I want something to happen that isn't happening now, because maybe that will make me happy. And that's what's going to happen for the rest of your life if you're not careful. So instead, you say, why am I deciding I need things to make me be okay instead of working on being okay? That's the key of all of spirituality. Why am I trying to decide what will make me be okay instead of removing the reason that I'm not okay? If you've never heard anything of my teachings before, please understand that. All right, so how do you remove these blockages? What are the blockages? Nice talk we had so far. I'm telling you, when you've reached the right state, you don't have to do anything to feel love, joy, excitement, enthusiasm beyond anything you ever felt before. Now, just so you understand, it doesn't mean you don't do anything. You still go out there and interact with the world. You still have relationships. You still different things happen. You just don't need them to happen. You share with life because you want to share the joy and love and enthusiasm and passion that you're feeling inside. You end up sharing it with the moments that are unfolding in front of you. Not, I'm not okay and you're going to make me be okay. See the difference? One is giving, the other's taking. We don't like to think of ourselves that way, but we're takers. If you're not okay, I'm telling you, you're trying to take. You're trying to take from the moment unfolding in front of you, person, place, thing, finance, job, anything, to come in here. How many people go to work to do their job? Nobody goes to work to do their job. Sometimes you can. If you're really inspired, you can't wait to get to work, right? It's neat. But most people don't work that way, do they? They go to work to get paid so they can have a nice weekend. They go to work because they got to support their family. They go to work as a secondary purpose. They have another purpose to go into work. They don't go to work to do the job. I want you to reach a state where no matter what job I give you, you would have to hold yourself back from saying, I'm going to do it for free. Let me just go do it. I can't wait to do it. Come on. You don't get paid to kiss your girlfriend or boyfriend. You don't get paid to go to Hawaii. You don't get paid to do stuff you really enjoy. Well, why are you not enjoying your work? There is a state of being inside of you that would take horses to hold you back from every single thing you do every moment of your life. How would you like to live like that? Then in that state, that's an unblocked state, that person is a blessing on this earth. Whatever they are doing, whoever they're interacting with, they are bringing all this joy and love that they already have. They don't need anything. I always teach you, they teach you renunciation. I hope they don't, but they do. It is not about renunciation. True spirituality has nothing to do with renunciation. If you are whole and complete within yourself, you don't need anything from outside. So what is there to renounce? If you just ate and you're full, you don't have to renounce food. Okay? It's just your natural state. I hope I'm convincing you, letting you understand. Your natural state is so high you can't even talk about it. You have to hold yourself down all the time. No moods. No, sometimes I feel good, sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I feel good around that person, but not this other person, right? A state of being inside yourself that is always there, it is always present, it is always feeding you, it will never go away unless you close. If you close down, it'll stop. If you don't close down, it is always there. So it comes down again to realize I need to remove the blockages instead of get things to put on top of them so that they feel okay for a while and it doesn't last. All right. What are the blockages? Because that's what I have found. The best way you can learn to remove these blockages is to understand what they are and where they came from. The nicest thing you understand about these blockages is you did it. That's my favorite thing to tell you. Every single blockage you have inside of you, you put there. Well, don't accuse me. No, that's not how you should take it. You should take it, I've just empowered you. If you put it there, you can take it out. Nobody can put a blockage inside of you. Nobody. You're the only one in there. If somebody comes up to you and starts yelling at you and saying things that aren't true and saying them, and you don't care, it doesn't bother you one iota. If somebody comes and says really nice things, but you're so scared and neurotic that you think they're lying to you and trying to get something from you, it's you in there doing it all. The world is unfolding, that's for sure, but it is coming inside of you and you're doing something with it, aren't you? That's where your work is. Now what your blockages are is very simple. Events have unfolded in front of you throughout your entire life. That's true of every single one of you. Not the same event, totally different events have unfolded in front of each of you every single moment. How's that for a statement? Isn't that neat? It's just unfolding in front. How much do you have to pay it to unfold in front of you? Nothing. Life is free. What you want isn't free, but life is free. Life is always unfolding in front of you, isn't it? There it is. Every single place in life there's something going on. Every single spot in creation, isn't there something going on? So there's something going on in front of you. Fine. There it is. When it comes in, when what comes in? Life. Life. The reality that's unfolding in front of you. I've begged you to understand the moment unfolding in front of you is no different than the hundreds of billions of trillions of moments that are not unfolding in front of you. They're unfolding everywhere else. It's just a moment in creation, isn't it? You didn't make it. It's not yours. It just happens to be in front of you. That is a complete life changer. It's a game changer to realize the moment in front of me is no different than the moments that aren't in front of me, except it's the one that's in front of me. It's neither good nor bad nor right nor wrong nor special, anything. They're all just the moments that are in life. And they're all connected and they're all real and they're all equal and they're all just unfolding all over the planet Earth and all over Mars and all over the universe. There are moments unfolding and there always have been for 13.8 billion years. You didn't blow it, you didn't break it, you didn't do anything. You're just a conscious being who is experiencing the moments unfolding in front of you. Problem is that when it comes in, it feels different. That's for sure. The moments unfolding in front of you sure feels different than the moments that aren't unfolding in front of you, doesn't it? The moments that are unfolding everywhere else don't feel anything inside, do they? What's going on in the South China Sea right now? I don't know. But there's something going on, and if you were there, you'd be feeling that. So that's the key. It comes in where you live. You live inside. You are the consciousness. Hi, you in there? Hi. So the world unfolds in front of you. It comes in, and you experience it. But the experiences feel different. I've explained this to you. It's not your fault that experiences feel different. Rattlesnakes feel different than butterflies. Everything feels different. So it comes in, and it's experiential when it comes into you. It has a vibration. It has its energy to it. Buddhists say everything has its nature. Certainly a rattlesnake has its nature, doesn't it? It's scary. When it curls up and starts rattling, that's some scary stuff. And butterflies have a nature, and flowers have a nature, don't they? They're soft and beautiful. You're not doing that. You're experiencing that, but you're not doing that. That's what I call a primal experience. The actual primal, it has its vibration, it is experienced, unfolding in front of you, it comes in and you experience it. That's a real experience. That's a level 1 experience. It's not indirect. It's a direct experience that's actually happening and it has a real vibration to it. Do you know that the color red feels different than the color blue? I'm talking about primally, not what you do with it. We'll get there in a second. The secondary experience. There's a primary experience. Every single thing has a vibration. And when it comes in, you experience that vibration. What's wrong with that? Nothing. It's the beauty of life that it comes in. What happens, and I've explained this to you 1,000 times, I'll do 1,001 and probably 7 billion and one, all right? What happens is it comes in, and when you start to experience it, it either feels good or doesn't feel good. Even the primal experience has a different vibration rate. When it comes in, and you're not evolved enough, when the consciousness, your own being, your essence, it doesn't feel comfortable with every experience. And there are reasons for that. Well, so that's really deep. Now I just want to talk about it's true. Okay? So what you do is the ones that don't feel good, you. I'm not talking about your psyche, I'm talking about your consciousness inside. Literally, I don't want that inside of me. And so you push it away. This level is where you need to work. This level we're talking about. You need to get there and live there if you want to have a beautiful life. That's witness consciousness. That's returning to the seat of self. I am the conscious being, and the world comes in, and now what I do is I have this power inside. I've discussed this with you. I have power. Can you push emotions away? Have you ever pushed things away in there? Can you hold on to things in there? Can you make thoughts go away? Can you make thoughts come? I'm not saying you're perfect at it, but if you start having a bad thought, can you resist it? Do you have the ability to resist things inside? Do you have the ability to cling to things inside? Keep them because you like them. You have a power inside. You're not just a passive witness. You're conscious, but you can do something about it, can't you? That power is called willpower. It's so amazing. I wish I could give an entire talk on will. I never do. Because people they don't pay attention. You have a power inside. You know you do. I don't need a scientist to prove it. I don't need a formula. I don't need Einstein. You're in there. You do stuff in there, don't you? How do you have a power to do stuff in there? Because you have the power of will. Who does? You, the deepest part of your being. The center of your consciousness has the power of acting, of doing something. So basically, you use your willpower to resist the experience that's coming in. You do it all the time, all the time. You don't want it coming all the way back into your being and merging with you because it's not comfortable. So you push it away. That's a blockage. That is a blockage. You took something real, a vibration that came in. It's energy. You used your energy, the power of your will, to push it aside, to not let it come all the way in. That thing is blocking your energy for the rest of your life, unless you do something about it. Every single one that you do that to. If a car in front of you is not driving the way you want, and you get all upset, that is screwing up your energy flow. That act that you did in the morning when the person was driving like that, and you got all weird about it, and pushed it aside and complained when you got to work, people don't even know how to drive, that thing will determine how good your food tastes at night, how good the kiss is with your beloved, how much you will enjoy your job. It will run your life. If it is in there, it is blocking your energy flow. Is it in there? Next time you see a car that looks like the one you had trouble with that was driving in front of you, what do you feel? Upset. Even 2 weeks later. Oh God, I hope it's not that guy. Yes or no? Is that just me? Anybody have that experience? I am talking about what it's like to live in there, all right? I don't care about your beliefs. I care about what you're doing in there, and do you understand what it is like to live inside? I know you're worried about what's going on outside. I'm not worried about what's going on outside. I know that you live in there. If you make it nice in there, who cares what's unfolding outside? If you just fell in love, I mean in love, just whoa, just your heart burst open and just filled with love, and you go to work and your boss says, yesterday you didn't finish the way I wanted. You go, really? He said, act serious about it, but you giggle inside. If you just broke up and your heart's hurting, you go into work and the boss says, oh, come over here, I want to talk to you. He wants to compliment you on what you did yesterday. Your mind goes, oh, another thing, I was bad enough, my boyfriend broke up with me, now I got to listen to stupid boss. You live inside. Your environment is inside. If your inside is beautiful, everything is beautiful. If your inside is screwed up, everything is screwed up. Okay? So you come in here and you realize, if I am pushing things away inside that actually happened, I'm going to go very slow. If the event actually happened, somebody beeped at you, somebody yelled at you, somebody criticized you, somebody broke up with you 7 years ago, these events actually took place. They do not belong inside of you. Period. When they are done, they are done. They're over. They're not even happening anywhere in the universe anymore. But they're happening inside of you, aren't they? All it has to do, anything reminds you of it, your heart closes again, you get all upset, your mind goes crazy, yes or no? You did that. And that's why I spent all my time at the beginning talking about how blockages are screwing up your life. Not that you're not getting what you want, right? It is the blockages. Now I'm telling you what the blockages are. You are doing it. Every time you do not let reality pass through you, you are pushing it away, and therefore it is staying inside of you. And if it stays inside of you, now watch what happens. I talked about the primary experience. I should give official names of these things, but a level 1 experience, a primary experience. The world is unfolding. It comes in. It has a vibration. Woo! It's coming in, and you're vibrating at the level it's vibrating, aren't you? You're feeling just whatever it was. You're feeling red. You're feeling blue. You're feeling death, you're feeling birth, you're feeling beauty, whatever it is. Whatever's coming in, you're experiencing it. That's a primal experience. That's a level 1 experience. Now what happens, because you stored this stuff inside, and so far I've only talked about innocent things. You know, somebody beeps at you, somebody criticizes you. You got some big stuff in there, don't you? Right? That's what does psychology call that? Your formative years. These blockages are the things you put in there because you did not let them pass through. While they were in there, they were blocking your energy flow. The more you have in there, the more blockages there are. Now what happens? An event unfolds outside, butterfly, rattlesnake, person, anything, comes in. You don't have any more primary experiences anymore. A normal human being has very, very few primary, what I call level 1 primary experiences. When the vibration comes in, it hits your stuff, the stuff you stored. So somebody says to you, red, what do you think a Rorschach test is? The ink blot test. It's everything I'm just talking about. It's sitting there saying, you're not going to see ink blots. That's not what you're going to see. You're not going to see squiggles on a piece of paper. You're going to see mommy yelling at daddy. You're going to see your husband who broke up with you. You're going to see different stuff. That's why they give you the test, isn't it? They are assuming, and they're right, that when you look at this, it's going to stimulate one of your secondary blockages. Now I've got level 2 reaction, don't I? So your primary experience, when it comes directly in and touches your core of your being, comes right through. We'll talk about that a little bit more, right? Your secondary experience, your level 2 experience, is it comes in and it doesn't make it to the core of your being. It hits your garbage. It hits your blockages. Why? Because they're in the way. That's what blockages do. And all of a sudden you're getting angry because somebody showed you red. I want the red one. My sister got the red bike and I can't believe I wanted the red. No, get away from me. And it's 50 years you're saying that. It's hilarious. The love of your life when you're 25 years old is on his knees. And he's got a little box, a little jewelry box. And you take it and he opens the box. And the diamond looks exactly like your Aunt Tilda's. And she was so mean. And she used to show that off to everybody. And it looked just like that. How you doing? Not such a romantic moment anymore, is it? All of a sudden, the event that's happening isn't what you're experiencing. You're experiencing what happened before that you stored inside of you. And that's the reaction that comes up. Therefore, that's the emotion that you feel, and that's what you're dealing with. Believe it or not, this is a spiritual discussion. Why? Because that's the stuff that blocks spirit. I don't want to talk about spirit. I don't want to talk about water flowing if it's dammed. I want to talk about how to get rid of the dam. I don't want to dream back, the water used to flow. No, I want to know how to get rid of the dam. I don't want to think about what would it be like if the water flowed. No, I want to get rid of the dam. I want to focus on the problem. And that's what we're dealing with. You have a problem, and you're it. You have built these level 2 blockages inside, and now when the world comes in, you react in accordance to your past experiences. And we think it's natural. Well, maybe it's normal. It's not natural. All right? Normal doesn't mean good. And so now you understand your blockages. I didn't get too far into it. Does anybody have any? Do I need to prove it to you, or have you noticed that they stay? Years can go by. You had an argument. You know when you want to see your blockages? I won't go. Go to your high school reunion and see how you feel. You don't even recognize the person anymore. And they say, no, you remember I'm so-and-so. I want to see how you feel. I want to see what comes up. Because it stayed in there for all those years. That's ridiculous. The person's not the same person. You can't even recognize them. They have to have their pictures of what they looked like in high school for you to recognize. They put it on the little shirt or something, right? OMG. I'm proving to you what's going on. Now, if you collect all that garbage, every moment of your life, you just collect all these things, and then you're going to have reactions based on that. Now try to figure out how to be okay. You've had thousands and thousands of experiences. One experience was good with red. The other experience was bad with red. You dated a guy named Ben. It was really beautiful. And then he moved away. It was a nice relationship. You wrote for a while. Then you married a guy named Ben. And it was the worst thing in the world. The war of the rose. You got divorced. Now do you like Bens or not? When somebody says, my name's Ben. Do you freak or do you get excited? I don't know. Probably depends on the weather. Be careful, because you may be bifurcated about this guy. He's wondering why you're so moody. Because one day he reminds you of the nice guy, the other day he reminds you of the other guy. All right. So you have a problem. The problem is you have stored these things inside of you. Now you're not okay because they block your energy flow. Now there's no natural flow. There's just this stuff in there. And now you need to find out, what I said, how to make the world be that it tiptoes through the tulips, that it matches your stuff good enough to where you feel the flow from behind because you stopped being all uptight about it. And what's so amazing is that you're the one who's deciding what will do it. Like, okay, she has a very pretty shirt on. I look at her shirt. Very artistic, pretty shirt. What if you went to a party and you made that shirt yourself, and it's really beautiful and special, and you're really excited about being special, and you just say, oh my God, no, it'll be the most unique blouse that's ever been at a party. You go to the party, and half the people in the party have that blouse on. How you doing? Oh my God, all right? What if you decided, I'm going to buy this blouse, but I wonder if anybody else will like it. It may be too weird, right? But I like it. And I don't know if they'll like it or not. I hope so. And so you buy it, and you put it on, you're scared, and you go in there, and half the people have the blouse on, and you feel totally accepted and vindicated. You're the one who decides how you feel about things. I don't know how to talk about it. You're either setting up things that will make you miserable or setting up things that will make you nice. But they're all conditional. It's called conditional well-being. Your well-being is now conditioned upon the world unfolding in a way that either matches or doesn't match or whatever it is, the garbage you stored inside. All right, so now you understand what's blocking you. How do you get rid of it? Can you get rid of it? Let's get this straight. Can you get rid of these blockages? Yes. Can you, me personally, yes. But you don't understand me. It doesn't matter. There's not one single thing inside of you that you're not holding in there. It tries to come up when you're asleep, in your dreams. It comes up when people hit it. It pops back up there, doesn't it? And you push it right back down. It is in there because you're holding it in there. Not, oh, I made a mistake. I did it when I was little. I held it in there. Now I'm stuck with it. No. If it's in there, believe me, it's trying to come back up. Right? One way or another. Somebody reminds you of it. It's, God, I felt the same as when I was my sister that I did when we were little. People say it all the time. I told you, I had met an old couple, and the husband had just died. Beautiful, beautiful woman, older woman. She says, I met Irving. We've been married 50 years, and he died. And Mickey, I feel the same loneliness and sense of loss that I felt before I met him, now that he's gone. Now, that may sound romantic to you. That sounds like it didn't work. What do you mean? You literally feel the same loneliness and the same sense of lostness that you felt 50 years ago, and then you rested on this person to make it not feel that way, but the moment they left, it was right back again. What does that tell you? You didn't get rid of it. You didn't work at the root. You didn't get rid of stuff, right? It literally didn't work, okay? And it's not going to work. You can't put stuff on top of something and think it went away. No more than you have some disease and put some Band-Aids over it. Okay, you can't see it, it's gone. No, it doesn't go away that way. So now how do you get rid of the blockages? First of all, now you have a fundamental understanding of what's wrong. You at least have the basis for getting rid of it. Now the question becomes, are you willing to? Are you willing to understand? I hope I've inspired you to say, I want to feel love. I want to feel joy. I want to wake up every morning filled with bliss and ecstasy and can't wait to see what's going to happen today, and go through the entire day enthused and excited, and then go to bed and giggle myself to sleep every single day for the rest of my life. I wouldn't mind living like that. Okay, get rid of your blockages. You're going to live like that because that is your natural state, period. So how do you get rid of your blockages? Start with what I call the low-hanging fruit. Start with every moment of every day of your life, something hits your stuff. Somebody doesn't say what you expect them to say. Somebody says what you don't want. Somebody's wearing a coat that you wish you had. Something happens, believe me. I've lived in here for a long time, right? Something, how the wind blows your hair around, it's a little hot. The car doesn't start right away. Oh, my God, it's just ongoing, isn't it? Somebody's got a nicer car than you. Somebody parked in your parking space. Somebody beeped at you because you were looking at your smartphone at the light. Okay? Things bother you, don't they? Things cause a change in there. That's where I want you working. Don't worry about the stuff that happened formative years. Just make a game out of this, which says, I can handle these little events that happen in life. They're totally natural, and they're happening everywhere. I just happen to be seeing the ones that are in front of me. I can handle them. I can let them pass through. I can experience it. I can have someone beep at me feel the discomfort of embarrassment or anger, because people shouldn't be so, impatient. I can feel the reaction come up inside of me. It is okay with me that they beeped. It is okay with me that I had this secondary reaction. That's all okay with me. I'm going to let it all come and go. I'm going to be so open. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to judge him for beeping. I'm not going to judge myself for getting neurotic about it. I'm just like, whoa, what an experience. I want the beeping and the neurosis because of it to be equivalent to seeing the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen. It stuns you. You look at it. It comes in. It touches you to the core of your being. I want every single experience you have to make it through you. But you start with little ones. Can you handle that he beeped at you? Well, you can. She can't. She's going to react, isn't she? Because she's a mess. She can't even. A total stranger beeps at you, and you get all weird. You feel rejected. You feel scared. You feel embarrassed. I'm telling you, those tiny little moments are where your spiritual growth is. Because you can handle those. That's something that's never going to bother you for the rest of your life happens, and you get a little weird. Let it go. Let it go. It's called letting go. Be open, relax, lean away from it. I've taught this a million times. When you see it start to happen, relax. If you are relaxed, you cannot resist. It requires tension to resist. And then remember, I don't want this inside of me. I don't want that the guy beat me staying here and I get weird every time I drive down that street or anything like that. I don't want it inside of me. If you don't want it inside of you, then don't keep it inside of you. Learn to not. And just relax around it, and then if it gets weird inside, lean away from where you see the weirdness. You are the one who's experiencing these things. You are fine. Remember that. What you're looking at isn't. But if you relax, you'll give it room. It's all about giving it room inside. That's what I've experienced. As much room as you can give it, you're letting it pass through. The least room you give it, it gets constricted. It can't make it through. Open up. That's called being open. It's called giving it room. It's called R&R, relaxing and releasing. And then to make a long story very, very short, if you learn to do it with the beep, you learn to do it with the person driving slow in front of you, you learn to do it with the person who, didn't say hello when you called to them, hey, Sally, she kept walking. Just keep letting go. Keep letting go. Relentlessly. Give it all the room. But what if I try to let go and it doesn't? Then let go next time. I don't care. It's, what happens if I'm trying to play tennis and I hit it in the net? I guess I'm no good. I quit. No. It's just every time you do it, you'll get better. And you just keep doing it. Then what will happen? Because you can do it with the smaller stuff, you're going to be very surprised to find out now somebody walks up to you and criticizes you. Somebody doesn't call 15 minutes after they were supposed to, and you're getting neurotic inside. Something a little bit bigger than the beep. You follow me? And you find that you do the same thing. I can let this go. I can relax. You learn to relax, learn to release, letting go, relax and release. What did they say? Let it be, singing words of wisdom, all right? Just keep letting go. Then all of a sudden something bigger will come up. Either new, right? That's the big stuff. Don't put new stuff in there. If you had an argument with somebody and it bothered you, your first act is not to go apologize and work it out with them because I can't handle that we had this argument. You can handle, and I want you to. And when you've let it go inside, then if it's appropriate to have a discussion about it, usually it's not. Usually, that's what I found in my life, if you can let it go, it's over. In fact, the person, you did them a favor. You actually let it go, and the next time they see you, you're not carrying it with you. That's grace. You absorb the karma. But the point is, if it does need to be talked about, at least you're there to talk about it, not there to defend yourself and the fact that you couldn't handle it. Does everyone understand that? I'm going very quickly. So more and more you let go. And don't take new stuff in, and then I'm telling you, all by itself, the old stuff will come up. Why? Because you didn't put new stuff on top of it. And get ready, because it's coming up. Right? That stuff does not want to be in there. And all of a sudden, your parental things and your childhood things and this thing and the first ex-husband and it just starts coming up. So what? You couldn't handle it when it happened. Can you handle it now? The answer is yes. Not only can I will. Actually, you say, I can and I will. Why? I don't want this inside of me. And as you let go, over time, as you let go, you're going to start to get higher. Why? Because that's what's inside of you. It's something really beautiful. And you'll start feeling it uplifting. You'll have joy for no reason. You feel love for no reason. And then all of a sudden, enough opens up where you took the dam down enough, it'll push the rest out of the way. And for the rest of your life, there'll be this flow welling up inside. throngs and waves of joy and ecstasy that you need to learn to handle yourself while you're driving and this and that, and it will never stop unless you stop it. That's what's waiting for you inside. That's what Christ meant when he said the kingdom is within you. And it is. But you have to die to be reborn. You have to die of the personal self, of this garbage you built inside yourself. And then it will well up inside. So basically, that is what spirituality is. I started by saying it's not hard and it doesn't take long. All you have to do is stop holding this stuff inside of you. And if you will get in the habit of doing that and work with that relentlessly every moment of every day, you will never look for love again. You will never look for excitement again. You will never look for joy again. You will be so filled with Shakti, with this joy, that everything you do will be inundated with it. You'll passionately interact with every moment of your life. That's how you're meant to live. Then the real stuff happens. We haven't even got high yet. When that energy starts flowing up, it literally takes you with it. It's so beautiful that it pulls your consciousness into it. You get pulled inside. That's where yogis live. That's where great beings live. And it starts welling up inside, and eventually you learn to surrender to it. You let it take you where it's going and return to the source. The source of spirit is where God is. The source of sunlight is the sun. The source of the spirit flow. You will find where the great ones went. All right. Work on these things. Jagged.